I like black and white photography, but I also like the old sepia photo. But I didn't like too much the sepia simulation from Fujifilm X100V and Fujifilm X-PRO3. So I've decided to make my own nostalgic sepia recipe, and I think I found a very interesting recipe that I want to share with you now. Hi there and welcome to my channel. My name is Tudor Matescu and I like to talk about photography gear and photography tips and tricks. So if you are liking content like this, please consider to subscribe now to my channel. So let's get to the subject. How I've said, I like the sepia toned files. I really like them. They are nice, but the sepia simulation from Fujifilm, I don't know. So I wanted an old nostalgic sepia toned file, and I decided let me try to make one. So first I've tried the recipe on my Fujifilm X-PRO3 with TT Artisan 20mm f1.4. Check my review regarding TT Artisan, link in the card. And the results were great. And this is a very important point that I want to address. If you don't have X100V but you have X-T4, X-PRO3, X-H2, X-Trans 4th generation sensor, and if you have an interchangeable camera lens, you can use a vintage lens, and the effect of this nostalgic recipe, it will be stronger. So I really advise use a TT Artisan, a Viltrox or a 7 Artisan lens to get a more nostalgic vibe with this recipe. So let's get to the subject. What is the recipe? So first of all, I want to address the fact that this recipe is working in all lighting conditions from my experience. You'll just have to adjust shadows and exposure compensation dial when you want to get the recipe right, depending on the light that is changing. So the recipe, it is as follows. Set the dynamic range to 400. This dynamic range will protect your highlights and will give you enough details in the shadow and in the highlights. Next, set clarity to -5. This -5 will bring more details in the shadow and in the highlight, and the tones will be very smooth between light and shadow. So you'll have a very flat image with these settings, but we'll make the image a little contrasty. Next, set your noise reduction to -4 because we want to have the grain and the noise of an old file, but this grain and noise will blend with the unclarity effect. But to have the grain a little stronger, to have the grain a little tougher, we will add sharpness +2, +3 depending on your preferences, but I really advise to add sharpness. Next, set the film simulation to across red. Highlight tones to -1 and shadow tones to +3. Depending on your scene, if you have a very flat light, you can go with the shadow to +5, or if you have a very strong lighting condition, you can change the shadow curve to +2. So shadow between +2 and +5 depending on the lighting conditions. Next, go into your menu and set monochromatic color to WC +4 and MG to -4. This will give you the sepia tones, but not so strong like the default sepia that we have on Fujifilm X-PRO3. Grain effect, I've set large and strong. Color chrome effect strong, color chrome effects blue strong. This is helping you to get more details and more tones in the green and blue color that are converted to black and white. And the last setting, set your white balance on auto or daylight if you are shooting this camera in daylight on the streets, and shift the white balance to red +9 and blue -9. This will help you get more details and more bright skins, and will also wash a little the image. And as you can see, these are the results with nostalgic sepia. Save this setting and you are ready to shoot. Put the camera in rolleiflex mode, check my video here, and go out and shoot with this nostalgic sepia. Now after you've done all this setting, please be sure to not overexpose too much the images. This recipe, it will work better if you underexpose the image. So this recipe will work very well when you use light and shadows, when you will have sun. But if you don't have sun, if you have flat light, don't worry. Underexpose or overexpose -2/3 or +2/3 maximum. You'll see on the screen how the results will show. So this recipe is not a recipe that it's very suited to be overexposed, but I feel it is suited to be underexposed a little, and you'll get the best results when you are with the exposure compensation die, depending on how the camera is exposing. So no exposure compensation. So after you've done all these settings and after you've understand what these settings are doing to your final image, go out and shoot. And let's look at some examples made with these settings. The examples that I've showed were made with X100V, and I also want to show you some results made with X-PRO3 with TT Artisan and Viltrox lenses. You can check my review regarding Viltrox, link in the card here. So in conclusion, I feel that this recipe, it's working great. It's working great for street portraits, for nostalgic reflections, and for all kinds of nostalgic photography. The results are good. I really like them. They are giving me the nostalgic vibes. But if you want to see more how I use this recipe on my Fujifilm X100V to shoot like Vivian Maier in rolleiflex mode, please be sure to become a supporter to my channel, and at the membership tab you will have access to my POV where I'll show you how I've used X100V to shoot like Vivian Maier, and I will explain the pictures and what was my thinking at those moments. Also you'll have there a POV with my X-PRO3 and X100V where I document a turbulent event and I explain what I'm thinking and what I'm doing and what I'm following when I'm taking pictures. So they are two very interesting POVs, and if you want to become a supporter, you'll get access to those two POVs and many more to come. Thank you for watching this video, and please subscribe now to my channel. Leave me a comment and talk to you soon. Bye bye. 너와 나 우리의 잠깐만 아니야.